Welcome back, Deep Divers. Today we are going deep on Google's latest AI.
Gemini.
Yep, Gemini. But more specifically,
The Deep Research model.
all right, the Deep Research model.
Yeah.
And we've got articles and reports and even some early feedback to dive into.
Yeah.
This AI is not just making a lot of noise.
It's practically building a hive.
Yeah, it really
It
is.
is causing a lot of excitement in the AI world. I think the thing about Gemini is it's more than just a chatbot.
Right.
It can plan. It's agentic, so it can plan and take action on your behalf, and it's multimodal. So text, code, images, audio, all that stuff.
It really is like a Swiss Army knife,
Yeah.
a super-powered Swiss Army knife. But one of the things that really jumped out at me was the deep research feature. I mean, imagine, no more late nights, like poring over papers or like a zillion tabs open in your browser.
Yeah, it's pretty radical. Think about it like a Google search.
Okay.
A normal Google search gives you a list of links, and then you have to do all the work,
Yeah.
right? Going through them and synthesizing the information and all that. Deep Research does that for you. It can pull insights from hundreds of sources and then present them in a really organized report with citations.
Okay, so it's not just finding information, it's actually doing the analysis.
Yeah.
And then it tells you where it got the information from. That's huge. But how does it do that? What's going on, like, under the hood?
One of the key features is what they call automated planning. So, like, imagine you are researching, I don't know, the future of electric vehicles.
Okay.
Instead of giving you a million articles about that, Deep Research will break the topic down into, like, subtopics.
Oh, wow.
Like battery technology, government regulations, consumer trends, all the different parts.
So it's like a personal research librarian who is also a master strategist?
Yes, exactly. And once it has a plan, it has this other feature, autonomous web browsing.
Wow.
So Gemini can use Google Search to look at hundreds of web pages, find the information, pull out what's relevant, but it doesn't even stop there. It also uses something called iterative reasoning,
Oh, okay.
which means it'll read some information and think about it and decide what to look for next, like a human would.
Wait, so it's not just copying and pasting?
No.
It's thinking about it.
It's thinking about it, making connections, and figuring out what's missing. And that's where the whole context window thing comes in. It can keep a massive amount of information, like the same amount as a whole book, in its memory.
So it doesn't forget important details from, like, earlier in the research.
Exactly.
Okay, so this means it can connect the dots between sources,
Yeah.
right? It's not just summarizing each thing separately.
Yeah. It can do what they call multi-hop reasoning. It can basically follow a chain of logic across a bunch of different sources to figure out new conclusions.
So this is starting to sound less like a research tool and more like an AI detective.
Yeah.
What does the final report even look like?
It's well-structured, often with sections and bullet points, and maybe most importantly, citations.
Okay.
Like links back to the original sources.
You can actually check its work.
Exactly. So you can fact check, see where it's getting its information. You can even go read the sources yourself. It adds a lot of credibility.
Which is something you don't really get with a lot of these other AI tools, right?
Right.
So we talked about how it works, but I want to know, like, how do you use this in real life? Can you give me some examples?
Sure. Well, so many applications. But, think about like a grad student.
Yeah.
Stressed out, has to read a zillion research papers for their thesis.
Oh, I've been there. All those hours in the library, stacks.
Exactly. Well, Deep Research could help them analyze, dozens of papers in minutes and summarize the key findings, the controversies, maybe even point out any gaps in the research. Think of all the time that could save.
Especially when you're up against a deadline. What about outside of academics?
Let's say you're a small business owner and you are trying to, see what your competitors are doing.
Yeah, competitive analysis. That can be such a time suck.
Oh, absolutely. Deep Research could pull information from, like, company websites, customer reviews, industry reports, all of it, and then make a report about your competitor. Their strengths and weaknesses, their pricing, how they market themselves.
It's like having a whole team of market researchers working for you, like 24/7.
That's a great way to put it. And we're just getting started. Imagine a journalist who needs to get up to speed on a breaking news story.
Right.
Deep Research could give them a summary of the facts, the key players, with, of course, citations for fact-checking.
Okay, so it's not just for academics or, tech people. It's something that could really benefit anyone. I mean, what else? What other use cases are there?
Well, think about technical research. Let's say you're a software developer and you have to choose between different programming libraries for your project.
Okay.
Deep Research could look at all the documentation, online forums, developer reviews, and give you a really clear comparison. The pros and cons, the community support, even compatibility issues with your current code.
This is incredible. I'm already starting to see how this could totally change how we approach research in every field.
And we're really just getting started. But, we should probably mention that Gemini is not the only AI out there. We should probably talk about the competition.
That's a good point. Let's do a little compare and contrast. How does it stack up against other AI models, like GPT-4, the one that powers ChatGPT?
Right. Well, one of the main things is real-time access.
Yeah.
GPT-4 is trained on a huge data set, but it have a cutoff date. So if you're looking for something really recent, it might not have it.
Oh, so Gemini has an advantage because it can just, grab the latest info online.
Right. And GPT-4 does have plugins and stuff that can access the internet now.
Yeah.
But it's not as, as built in as Gemini's Deep Research. Another thing is that GPT-4 doesn't plan its research.
Okay.
Not in the same way, at least. It's more reactive.
So it's like the difference between having a research assistant who, takes initiative and one that just waits for you to tell it exactly what to do every step of the way.
That's a really good analogy. Now, another big AI out there is Meta's LLaMA 2.
Yeah.
Really powerful open source. So developers can customize it, fine-tune it for specific tasks.
So it's like more DIY, like building your own research assistant from scratch.
Kind of. LLaMA 2 is really versatile, but it takes a bit more, expertise to set up for deep research.
Yeah.
Compared to Gemini, which is more user-friendly out of the box.
And what about Perplexity AI? That's been getting pretty popular.
Yeah, Perplexity is great if you just need quick answers with citations, super fast and accurate. But kind of like GPT-4, it doesn't have that same autonomy or depth, I guess, for big, complex research projects.
Okay, so it really sounds like each tool has its own, pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
And the base one just depends on, what you're trying to do.
Exactly. You've got to find the right tool for the job.
It really is amazing to see all these different ways of approaching AI research. But I think what's really captivating everyone is, what could this mean for how we work, how we learn?
Absolutely. Deep research and AI research assistants, I think, could completely change productivity, innovation, all that in so many fields. Imagine all the time and energy we could save, all that time we spend on the boring parts of research.
Right. No more late nights with spreadsheets
Yeah.
or trying to make sense of mountains of data.
Exactly. Let's say you've got a marketing team launching a new product.
Okay.
They need to figure out all the market trends. What are the competitors doing? What are people saying?
That's a lot of research.
Yeah.
I mean, that could take weeks or months to do, right? Gather all the data, analyze it, find the insights.
Exactly. But imagine if they could just ask Gemini to do all that. Pull the data from news articles, social media, product reviews, make a nice report highlighting the key trends and opportunities.
That would be a game changer. They could focus on strategy and actually getting that product out there instead of spending all their time on research.
Right. And it's not just speed, it's the depth of insight. Think about data analysis, business intelligence. Imagine you could ask Gemini to go through a huge data set and not just crunch the numbers, but actually find patterns, find anomalies, things that a human might miss.
Like an AI detective, always on the lookout for clues.
Yes, exactly. And of course, we can't forget about academic research, scientific discovery.
Oh, yeah. Think about a researcher who's trying to stay up to date in their field. I mean, there are new papers published every single day. It's impossible to keep up.
It's just too much information. But deep research could help. Scan those papers, pull out the main points, even show you the connections between different studies, the contradictions. It'd be like having an AI for your literature review.
So much time saved.
Yeah.
They could focus on, the big picture, designing experiments, interpreting results.
It's not about replacing human intelligence. It's about making it more powerful. Who knows? Maybe we'll even have AI scientists one day.
Working alongside human scientists. Wow. Okay, so we talked about knowledge work, business, science. What about healthcare?
Ooh, great example. I mean, doctors and nurses, they're constantly bombarded with new information, right?
Yeah.
Imagine an AI that could find the most relevant research analyze patient data, even warn them about drug interactions or side effects.
That could literally save lives.
And not just individuals. What if we could use AI to analyze healthcare data on a large scale? Spot trends, predict outbreaks, create better public health initiatives.
The possibilities really are endless.
Yeah. And we haven't even talked about law, education, the arts.
It feels like this technology could change every field. But I also think we need to talk about the, challenges, the questions that come up.
Right. With any powerful technology, we've got to be careful.
Yeah.
Think about the consequences.
Okay, so let's get into it. What are some of the potential downsides? What risks should we be aware of as we go further into this world of AI research?
Yeah, a lot of really good questions.
So we've been talking about all the cool stuff AI research assistants can do, especially Google's Gemini. But like any really powerful technology, I always have those what-if questions in the back of my mind.
Right, and we should be asking those questions. It's good to be excited about innovation, but also to think critically.
So let's talk about the downsides. One that always comes up is, jobs. Could these research assistants actually, replace humans?
Yeah, it's a big one. As AI gets better and better, it is possible some jobs, especially the ones that involve a lot of routine research or data analysis, those could be automated.
That makes sense. So how do we, prepare for that shift in the job market?
Well, education and retraining. We need to be helping people learn the skills that AI can't really replicate, like critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, all those really human things.
Right, so it's not just about, learning how to use a specific software tool. It's about being adaptable.
Exactly. Things are changing so fast, we have to keep learning throughout our careers.
So job displacement, that's a big one. What other challenges are there?
Another one is control. As AI becomes more complex, able to make its own decisions, we have to be very careful about how we design it, how we use it.
So we don't want to get to a point where AI is making decisions we don't understand.
Right.
That could have really bad consequences. Humans need to stay in control.
Absolutely. We need transparency. We have to understand how these systems work, how they come to their conclusions, so we can spot the risks, put safeguards in place.
So it's not just about building powerful AI, it's about building responsible AI.
Exactly. And that means we all need to be part of the conversation. Researchers, developers, policymakers, even the public.
Sounds like we all need to learn a lot more about AI so we can be part of that conversation.
I agree. The more we understand as individuals, as a society, the better we'll be able to navigate this new technology and shape it so it benefits everyone.
Well, this has been a really amazing deep dive. We learned about the crazy things Google's Gemini can do. We imagined how it could change different fields. We even talked about some of the big questions it brings up about the future.
Absolutely.
Jobs, ethics, how much control we should give AI.
It's a fascinating time to be alive. AI is developing so fast, it's going to affect every part of our lives.
So what's the one thing you want listeners to take away from this?
Stay curious. Be engaged. Stay informed. AI is powerful, but it's a tool. We have to guide it with our values, with a commitment to making the world a better place.
So to everyone listening, keep learning about AI. Stay up to date on what's happening. Be part of the conversation about how we shape its future. It's going to be an exciting ride, but we can figure it out together. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.